back up here. That's it. That's all I need. Moved on to the back. Right, if you have a look up, that gives you an idea of how high an old tenement in Edinburgh was. But when you're looking up at that tenement, bear in mind it is in fact very, very small. Because some of the old tenements in Edinburgh went as high as 14 stories, the highest buildings in the world. Now Edinburgh was very overcrowded, and every one of these buildings had one thing in common. They had no sanitation whatsoever. Every night at 10 o'clock, the bells from St Giles would ring out, and that was the signal for Garde de Lou, French for watch out for the water. You would simply open your window, no matter how high up you were, and tip your rubbish, and I do mean your rubbish, straight onto the street. However, it was nice to let the people below know what you were doing. So you would shout, Garde de Lou! Now anyone below hearing that would get out of the way blooming fast because they knew what was coming down. However, if you were a visitor to Edinburgh, like your good selves, you'd be walking along the road, minding your own business, and you would hear someone going, Garde de Lou! You immediately thought they were saying, how do you do? So you would stop, look up, give a little wave, and then receive a rather unpleasant shower. A lot of visitors never come back for some reason. I've no idea why. Is that yours? Don't give me a crap, is it yours? No, must be mine then. Now you know what a ghost keeps in his pocket. A woody shite. This way, mortals.
вереницей идем за синей птицей.
По городу Паниц.
It's a sad story.
С подружкой-проводницей.
Yes, moving Miss Moscow. In 1645, the worst disaster ever hit Scotland arrived. The Black Death, the plague. It was so severe in 1645, it wiped out half the population. And whenever it broke out, the council would panic. They would simply start to seal up the buildings with the people still inside. And in one place in particular, they tried to save all the children. They placed all the children in one building, but a death hit it, and the council did as they always did. They started to seal up the building. But only this time, it wasn't adults that were sealing up, it was children. And when the mothers heard what was happening, they come running down the street, begging food, begging water, begging anything they could. And they entered the building, knowing full well they would never ever come out alive. To this very day, on that very spot, on a quiet evening, you can still hear the children singing. Pocket full of posies, tissue, tissue, you'll fall down. As you know, that song's about the plague. Nice cheery wee number, isn't it? This way, mortal. In 1707, Scotland lost its independence. England had always tried to take over Scotland, but they never succeeded. In 1707, there was no democracy. So England resorted to bribery and corruption. It offered the hackflay parliamentarians several £1,000s to sign away their rights, their country. These greedy men took the money, but the greediest of the lot was the Marquis of Queensberry. He took £12,285 to sign away his country. The people of Scotland were 50-1 against this, so these men had to go into hiding. And when it came to the very fateful day to sign this, the Marquis of Queensberry took his entire household with him for protection. His entire household bar 2 occupants. The 2 occupants left in the house. One was a 10-year-old kitchen boy who was left in the kitchen to turn the spit. And on the spit was a roast. Their occupant of the house was Queensberry's own son. A monster of a man, a giant, and an absolute raving lunatic, who'd been locked up in the basement for years for the protection of others. However, on this very fateful day, he finally escaped, and the first thing he did when he escaped, he smelt the meat cooking, and he followed the smell of the meat. When the market of Queensberry returned, it wasn't the kitchen boy who was turning the spit, but his own lunatic of a son, and on the spit was not the roast, but a half-eaten body of a 10-year-old kitchen boy. Queensberry's house still exists to this day. For many years it was an hospital, and the kitchens were most definitely haunted by a young child. As for the building today, it has presently been converted into part of the new Scottish Parliament. Perhaps there's some form of justice in that. I enjoy that story. I can always get my teeth into it.
Yeah.
This way, mortals.
You want to have a double certificate?
Some people start.
Traffic comes here.